we just rewatched Nightmare of the Wolf, the Netflix anime movie that just came out last year, 2021, and serves as a prequel to the Witcher series. I actually watched this out of order. I watched it after watching season 2 of The Witcher, and it's almost like someone took my notes and then made this animated movie. Like they distilled the essence of the Witcher series, everything I like about it, focusing on this dark fantasy, German, Polish kind of setting, and then kept it focused really on a single story. The animation, action is great in it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's super good. It didn't do what the first season, especially The Witcher, did, where it was trying to juggle so many different story elements and like concepts at once, introducing so many different characters. And also, like in the Witcher series, sorry, the Witcher movie, Nightmare of the Wolf. Who do we have like really following? We have Vesemir, right? We
Right.
have
Yeah.
Tetra later on. Those are probably the biggest two, and then also the Witcher that recruited Vesemir. And there are a lot of side characters, don't get me wrong, but they're never like the center of attention. We don't really have any scenes where it leaves Vesemir or Tetra for too long and goes to them for extended periods, except for maybe his girl that ends up aging to age 70 or whatever. Like we kind of see
Mm,
more of her, but that's relevant by the end because it's during that war, right? So I don't
right.
know. I think there's a lot of good stuff in this. It's much better paced. It's more focused. It's not trying to build a universe, and maybe it's helpful that we already saw season one of The Witcher, like, conceptually. I mean, maybe that's what they were going for, but yeah, it's just better
I
structured.
I don't think you need to watch any Witcher stuff to understand this story. This
Well,
is
you don't.
so
You don't at all.
yeah.
But I was just saying, like they got so much out of the way with season one. Like, if this was meant to tie, because this could be a standalone movie easily. You don't need to.
Right. Yeah.
You don't need to know what comes afterward. Even if you just played the games, because then you get that little jerk off moment at the end with, bald kid Geralt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's all you really
Yeah.
need.
When
And
Vesemir, aka Jared from Subway, starts his own school.
absolutely.
I mean, I love the. I think this is pro Gilf propaganda. After I watched it a second time,
Yeah,
you
dude.
know.
Absolutely. Well, you talking about like grandma, not grandpa, right? Well, actually,
Yeah. No.
grandpa too.
Definitely.
Did you
Are
get
you
a look
talking
at
about?
that old Witcher?
Oh yeah. Thickums. Oh yeah. He is
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. He's got those
He's
big
pretty
old cheeks.
Chad too.
I know he
Yeah.
is
You know what?
Chad.
I like this story too because it actually takes you on a character progression. Not that you always need to have this like transformative character that starts off evil or kind of like selfish, like Vesemir does, and by the end of it, he's wants to build up the school that he really had no interest in at the beginning of it. You don't always need to have that, but this one does it pretty well. And I like that there's these characters that are so like they're not even gray; they're like dark gray. They're like bad, but they can kind of see their point of view, like the Witcher boss. What's his name? I don't remember his
I
name.
don't know his name either.
Whatever, but yeah, the Triple C thick Witcher,
hmm
the daddy bear. Yeah, he is like towards the end too. He's like super badass. I'm like cheering for him to kill these humans, but at the same time, I'm like, well, he's a bad guy. He's
Well,
a bad
that's
guy
because
too.
Petra sucks. But I was thinking about that. Yeah, just when I was watching it toward the end, when they flash to that scene, like I was talking about with little Geralt in there, who's like he was trying to run away, and then he gives that weird ass smile, and with the other kids, they're all huddled up, right, trying to hide out from the
Yeah,
war.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the moment where I was just like, man, like I feel for these people, but they are definitely like, the bad guys in this situation, and I don't know how the other Witchers feel. I'm guessing whose side are they on? The other Witchers.
I guess they're on. They're like just want to maintain their existence. So I assume they're
Well, but
on
did they
the.
really show them any of them like have a like take a side in the whole like should we create monsters just to get more coin kind of
No,
thing?
I
I
feel
don't think
no. I feel
so.
like yeah. I feel like it's only those two. The like the the mage and the leader. Oh
Yeah,
man,
that's the
I
only
should have
ones
looked
in
up their
those.
names, but those two are the ones that are
You say the
doing.
leader,
I think.
best Incredible Hulk villain ever in the MCU.
Oh yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, my dick would look like the leader, just all head.
Yeah, sure, a lot of
You know.
bumps too. Like when he was forming, remember that? That little drip went on his
Yeah,
head. Oh, dude.
yeah. Think about this: all head and a veiny head too. Everything else is smooth.
Everything
Big
else is
veiny
smooth.
head. Everything else smooth and little.
Well, that'd make hand jobs complicated.
So I didn't think the twist in this movie was all that complicated, or like, oh my goodness, it's groundbreaking. Like, you don't have to have totally original ideas. You just gotta like twist them enough because a lot of the stuff in this movie doesn't feel all that original or like I've seen another movie. Like I immediately thought of the Old Man Logan comic when Vesemir ends up killing everybody in
Mm-hmm.
that one room
hmm
because that's what happens in Old Man Logan. Mysterio disguises all of the other members of X-Men as villains, and Logan just kills them all. And then all of a sudden he wakes up from that, and He's killed
Yeah,
everybody.
it's very
So,
similar.
anyways,
I was trying to think of a comparison to draw to it too. That would have been the best one, I guess. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty good scene
yeah,
in the
and
movie.
it's not all that original, but
No.
they did a good job invested or like building these characters up and making me invested in them and their relationships.
Yeah,
That
even that
that it hits.
even that guy who had like only a couple lines, like the black guy with like the long white dreadlocks, who he ended up killing, who Vesemir ended up killing, accidentally, I guess, thinking it was Tetra.
Yeah,
Yeah, like even that guy, like, I saw he was dead, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. I like for some reason I kind of like that guy. I'm not sure why. He seems like one of the more, I guess, important put together Witchers. Like he's the smart guy, right?
yeah, he's the Urkel
Yep, he's the Urkel.
of the Witchers.
Yep, race is not a factor in us saying that.
Yeah, I like how we could go back in time to when they started this, he made these like mixed monsters probably by accident. He probably did that. Did I do that? Did I make these monsters by
So
accident?
stupid.
The action in this is so much better. And I know that you can do it better in animation than in live action. Like the dynamicness of it, like super fast pace. Like you can have all these complexities in it. It doesn't take that much more of a budget to do it. But I don't know. Like it maybe I'm just so used to animes that I like this style more than the live action one they give us.
Yeah, well,
You
I
know?
said I said this. I think I remarked this at in one of our Witcher season reviews. But this like really reminded me of Castlevania.
Yeah.
Like the voice acting was similar, and the animation style was similar too. I don't really know how to describe it so much. Like the frame rate isn't always super high, but the art is pretty good. But it's not overly shaded or dramatic either.
Right.
Yeah, it's like very American, I guess. Kind of reminds me of the DC animated movies too. Some of the more well animated ones. But it's more of an anime style. But I totally agree. I think it's a better way to present this kind of a world if you want these characters to seem powerful, unless you're going for something more like Lord of the Rings, where basically no one's like super enhanced in Lord of the Rings, unless it's purely magic. No one's
Right.
physically doing anything totally insane unless you're a monster or it's just straight up magic. But they try to present these Witchers in this universe like they can do some crazy stuff, and they can. But you really see it in this animated series, and Vesemir is just launching fire like without any effort whatsoever. And see, this is one of the many conflicts that I have now. Coming in with the seasons, I like that he can shoot a ton
Yeah.
of fire, and actually, I like that they brought up how difficult it was for people to do that in the live action series, like how almost impossible it is. But now that Vesemir is also in the live action series, it's like, okay, you're kind of a letdown to me now in season 2 here, bud.
Well, I want to know what made Vesemir look like this super sleek, playboy to the basically Mario
That's
looking
true. Yeah,
motherfucker
I
in the
yeah.
future. Like
Who knows, man?
time has not been nice to you, Vesemir.
Yeah, I guess not. Geralt's been
Yeah,
sucking all of his youth out of him over time.
yeah. Well, what I also liked about this is it doesn't feel like the well, we already said the story's hyper focused on The Witcher, right? It didn't feel like it's a story about some other like even though they had a little bit of the intrigue of that king's court, it wasn't about that. That actually, you know, directly went into the final act of The Witcher, right?
Yeah.
And it all dealt with The Witcher. It wasn't dealing with some other politics of another kingdom or something like that. And
I don't
also,
mind political intrigue though and things like I like that in a lot of stuff, but it can go over the top easily, especially if they introduce a ton of stuff we don't care about. If it's boring and doesn't really contribute to anything, then yeah, it does get
yeah,
old. And this I think would have gone that way, but they really kept it to a minimal, and I like that. But they did accomplish some significant things with the little bit that they gave us. Like they executed
yeah,
that one Witcher, for example, right? And they had I don't know anybody's name for some reason, but the girl that Vesemir grew up with, they had her as a prisoner there. Or
yeah, the
like,
Gilf.
yeah, exactly the Gilf. She did look great for age 70, by the way. She's like,
Oh, I
"Oh,
know.
Vesemir, I'm almost 70." Dude, no, she's
Why wouldn't
not.
Vesemir go back and clap that? That's what I'm wondering.
He definitely did.
You think
Yeah,
so?
absolutely. He took her on the
He should
horse
have.
at
They
the end,
should.
right?
Oh,
He took
you
her
think he
out to the
slipped it in?
woods.
Right. Oh, dude, would have been a great ending if he just like, all right, now I'm gonna mount you.
Yeah, you can headcanon. That's fine.
Okay, that's my headcanon.
Hmm.
Thank you.
But that's all. That's all I have to say. It just they accomplish a lot with a little in this, which is the exact opposite of what they did in especially season 1 of the live action show, which I do like, by the way.
Yeah, that you're obsessed with. I liked it in this one. They didn't have a lot of like cringe SJW messaging in it. They had like every single race in this basically, but again, it wasn't past that. That was it, right?
Yeah.
That's all they really did. They had a gay Witcher in there too, but it wasn't like bashing you over the head with it too. He wasn't like, "Hi, I'm gay. Huh, huh, did you forget I was gay? Oh, good, because I'm gay." You
Yeah, no, like if
know what I'm saying?
if
Like
it's
he literally
casual,
just is a
no one
throwaway
cares,
line.
man. The
Yeah.
only time the casual
Well,
stuff is not okay is if they make an existing character that we know not as not gay. If they make him gay, then that's the only time that the casual, inclusivity thing sucks.
well, else they didn't draw attention to it. Him being like, "Yeah, I'm not able to get male whores because people hate me because I'm gay." He literally just says it, and then he leaves it alone. Right? You just like, "Yeah, I can barely afford a male hooker," and then you move on.
Yep.
Right? Like there's no other messaging to it. For some reason, like especially when it's like this more whatever you want to call it, European culture. I don't know why they insist on having such a diverse cast because you never see like white or Arab Japanese shoguns, like in some Japanese show. You don't have like this black person back in feudal Japan running
Tell that to
shit.
47 Ronin, best movie of all time.
Oh shit. Okay, I won't say it. Never mind.
How about
Good thing I
that?
will edit this out. Well, I highly recommend this movie. It would have been on my top 10 of 2021, but I didn't have any animation. I was trying to make it all live action. But I would highly recommend this movie. If this would probably be the best gateway drug to get somebody into The Witcher until they will eventually watch the live action and get disappointed. Like, oh
I was
man,
just
why
gonna
didn't they just
say,
focus?
why are you gonna get into it and then immediately leave it?
Like, well, I mean, they gotta chase that high, right? Like in drugs, you hit them with this, and
Oh,
then they'll keep coming
like
back
with
for more.
drugs.
So
Now I get it.
I don't know. What'd you think? Shit. Okay, so we'll just rate it shit or milf. I think this is. Oh, you know what this is? It transcends shit or milf. It is gilf. That's
It
what
is
I say.
gilf, and it's a gilf that doesn't work out. Maybe did in the past, but maybe has like just an average diet. Somehow maintains a lot of great qualities body wise, and still has that kind of maternal personality. You know what I mean? So it's like she's gonna take care of you in a lot of ways.